Hey everybody, this is Javi, and you are watching the Bowtie Psychic here on YouTube. I am very excited about this particular video because I'm actually pulling cards for Gemini, and I'm a Gemini. That is my sun sign, and so I have been very excited and pretty much waiting to do this. So I'm going to be doing a reading for um, Geminis and how we can take care of each other and take care of ourselves or practice self-care um, during the Aries season. And so for Instagram, I already pulled one card. The spirit actually told me to keep this card because it's extremely important. And when I felt it, when I pulled this card, I actually felt the message that spirit has. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and get this reading going for my fellow Geminis here. So, dear higher spirit, I pray you use me as a vessel. Whatever comes through is from you, the highest and best of my guardians, ancestors, wise ones, guardian angels, archangels, ascended masters. Whatever comes through, it comes from a place of light and love and is rooted in truth. And I pray that you put a white light of protection around me and those who are watching this video. Ashe. I'm so excited because, for one, spring is actually um, our season. That this is our season, um, and our season is actually going to be coming up in May. So May 21st is Gemini season, and it is going to be very interesting to say the very least. But we are working with Aries season right now, and this is going to be very interesting because we are an air sign, and air signs are known for our intellectualism and modes of communication or communicating in general, giving information, um, wanting to learn more information and giving that information to people. And so, with it being Aries season, it's going to be very interesting because these two signs usually don't get along as much because of the of the elements. You have the fire element who's always on the go, always aggressive, and then you have the air sign that is very wishy-washy at times, very flowy, and is also very intellectual. Also very just almost like a Pisces, very like very intellectual, very much into stories, very much into facts, but also very much into we're always using our imagination and we're always talking, we're always giving information and we're just like always in the air. Like literally always in our heads and always we're always like somewhat logical, but there's an imagination within our logic. And so not all Geminis are like action oriented. We like to think about things first and actually um, not just think about things, but like look at things from different angles. And so we get frustrated with a lot of Aries, those who are born under the Aries sign, because um, we were because most Geminis are like, what are you doing? You have to look at things from different angles. You just can't up and do shit. You know what I mean? You just cannot up and do things, on the whim like that. You have to look at things, or you don't have to, but it's best to look at things from many different angles. And Aries, they're not slow at all. They're like on the go, fast paced, move on to my way. And so there's always some sort of opposition. Um, for the most part, as far as personalities, as far as how we approach things between Aries and Geminis. And so, what we are going to do, I'm going to pull cards right now. So, dear higher spirit, what words of wisdom do you have for those born under the Gemini sign in regards to self care or taking care of each other and ourselves during the Aries season? Get some good cards already. Well, we got a whole bunch of them, huh? We have a whole gang of cards here. There's one card here. All right. So we have a few cards here for Gemini, as I expected. And so the first card that, and I actually got this while I was doing a mini reading for Instagram. And so what I got for this particular, for Geminis, us Geminis, um, is the Mother card. This is our time to mother ourselves, to nourish ourselves, to cherish ourselves, to see ourselves as we are. Um, Here's the Mother card right here. The Mother is very nurturing, very kind, very gentle. But on the flip side, she can also be very demanding and very cold and very judgmental. And so, what this card is basically saying is that this is not the time during Aries season to judge ourselves harshly, especially when it comes to our intellect. In because I'm going to be honest with you, even though we love knowledge and crave knowledge, Gemini, we don't have to know everything. We don't have to know everything off the top of our head. We don't. We It's okay for us to shut our minds off and to basically nurture ourselves, nurture that feminine spirit that we have, nurture in ourselves and our kindness and our well-being and our creativity, everything about ourselves. Nurture it, hold on to it, um, and don't judge it. Don't allow people to judge it either, especially during the Aries season. Again, there's going to be that opposition of personalities, and with Mercury being our planet, it's the planet of intellect. Um, we are to not um, take things so seriously or take what they say about us very seriously or and ruminate on it. So basically, what this card is saying is that please be mindful of our self-esteem and where it is. Mother ourselves, nurture ourselves. This is the time for self-care. Is just self-love magnified. And self-care doesn't have to be roses and butterflies. It could be anything that feeds your spirit. I am getting into comic books or graphic novels. That's what I love. I love books. I love um, Netflix. I love all kinds of things. I love hanging out with other people, other like my fellow trans people. I love hanging out with folks that are going to nurture my spirit. It doesn't have to be isolatory. And this card, especially with spring happening and the weather changing, this is our time. This is actually spring is actually our time. Spring um, is a time to basically rejuvenate, to refresh, but also reflect, and also pour our energy into things things and people and situations that feed us. Okay, the weather, nice weather for a lot of us being included. I live in Rochester, and it's cold the majority of the year, um, but the weather is for the most part, it's now changing. It's like 54 degrees outside right now, and or it was anyway. And so, as the weather changes, please be aware. Please be aware of your mood, because that's another thing. Geminis are known for being moody. We're okay 1 minute and ready to like the fisticuff somebody the next, depending on the situation and what. And so we're our moods are often changing because usually, at least for me anyway, usually because of the weather. And so just also be aware that you're of the depression lifting, the anxiety lifting, that need to hibernate and stay in the house is going to be lifting as well. I'm telling you now, Gemini, this is our season. And what this card is saying is that the mother card, anyway, this is a time for you to be outside and to nurture your spirit and being around other people. And so being around other people is an incredible idea, especially those who support you and what you do, because you have the perception card. The perception card upside down, be mindful. You are to be mindful of your subconscious. You are to be mindful of what you say to yourself, what you think about yourself, what you think about certain situations, because again, we are intellectual individuals. We're always in our heads. In fact, we're in our heads to a fault. We are logical. When we are centered, we are logical to a fault. And so, and so when it comes to our belief system in other people, we are like, unless we see evidence proving otherwise, we will believe a certain thing. We believe with all of our might that something is right or something is wrong. And so, what this card is saying is that um, do not let your perception of things steal your joy or take you out of your element. Don't let anything or anyone take you out of your element. Just simply because this is a time for you to. That's why that nurturing card, that nurturing aspect comes from, because with Aries season coming up, why isn't everybody trying to get hold of me now? Um, so what this card is basically saying, what you got, what the mother card was saying is that this is time to nurture your spirit, but it's also time to nurture your mind, and not just your spirit, but also your mind, and that actually means cleansing your subconscious thinking. Again, the power of the supermoon is still here. Is going to be here for the next 3 days. So this is actually a time to do a lot of purging and of the subconscious mind, and actually start to question your perceptions of things. Start to question your perception. Don't let your perceptions um, make you isolate yourself. To hold on, don't hold on to beliefs that no longer serve you. This is the time to actually question your beliefs, and to basically not, and this is also the time to not allow other people to take away your spirit and take away your joy. That's why, from the very beginning, you are told to nurture yourself, and to surround yourself with people, because that will break up that perception um, of whatever negativity that you are holding on to when it comes to the self, and when it comes to um, your not only the self, but your interests, your likes, dislikes, and who you are at the core. That's why you're being told from the very beginning, nurture yourself, love yourself, and that means um, being aware of your perceptions and questioning them, and not to give in to any sort of negativity. This card right here, this is actually the the 10 of water. Okay, it's upside down. A lot of us Gemini are not allowing ourselves to dream. We're not letting our minds wander. We're not. We are thinking so much that um, we have pretty much forgotten how to manifest. We have forgotten. Do not forget. You know, because what this woman is doing in the picture, she is not only in her element. She is not only manifesting, but she's actually making things happen. She's allowing spirit to help her. She's enjoying her power. And she's just weaving. She's weaving and allowing herself to just be and to dream and to manifest. She's making her reality her reality. It's time for us to do this, Gemini. It's time for us to do this. We're not allowing ourselves to do this because we feel like we don't have our power. A lot of us are so we're caught up in the intellectual. We're so caught up in, learning that we forgot our own magic and we forgot to tap into that spiritual part of ourselves, that tell us that we control our reality. We control what happens to us as far as what we desire, who we let into our life, who we who we listen to. We have the power to edit our life. And this woman is editing, in a sense, she's editing her life. She's allowing herself to manifest and to feel. She's allowing herself to be. This is the time for us to allow ourselves to be. I'm also getting some inner child stuff. It's time for us to let our inner child to come out and play and to basically just allow ourselves to be. Yeah, I'm getting a lot. We care too much about what other people think of us. Um, and what that card is basically saying is that this is a time to let that go. This is a time to let that go. This whole spread. We got the Destiny card. Gemini, this is the time to let, in fact, thank you. Now everything is starting to come together. The reason why you're told to nurture yourself and to nurture you're being told to nurture your ideas. Nurture yourself in order for us. We are being told to nurture ourselves, take care of ourselves, nurture ourselves in order for us to nurture our ideas, to act on our ideas. Because a lot of us, we have so much to offer. We have so much, especially on the business aspect of things. We should, like a lot of us, um, we have the power to have careers. We have the power to elevate, and to see ourselves as great. Um, but our perception of self and our perception of self, a lot of us is very negative. We have gotten those old tapes that stated that um, even regardless of our intellect, that our intellect is not good enough. We are not good enough. And so as a result, we are not allowing ourselves to dream. We're not allowing ourselves to manifest. And Aries season, during this Aries season, as far as self-care, this is the opportunity for us to change our thoughts and to change our perception. And so we can work towards the future and the destiny that we are meant to have. What this card is basically saying is that it's right side up. And what this card is saying, Gemini, is that we have the control to control our narrative. We have the power to control our destiny. Nothing happens outside of us unless we allow it. Let me say that one more time. Nothing happens outside of ourselves unless we allow it. What I mean is that nothing happens to us by mistake. It like there are certain things that are in fact beyond our control as far as us, being able to control it directly, such as, the capitalist system or our political climate on a massive level, or what the chaos that's going on in the world. Um, we, like, for the most part, we cannot control that directly, where we're sitting, unless, we are in that particular environment. But what I'm saying on the individual level, if we are to be great, if we are to create the destiny that we are to, that we imagine for ourselves, what spirit wants for us, we are to work for it. We are to work for it, and we are to work with spirit in order to achieve it. You're capable. What this card is saying, what the destiny card is saying, is that you really do have the power to change your narrative, whatever that narrative is. It doesn't have to be about business. It can be about your love life. It can be about your your thought process. It can be about school. It can be about education. It can be about self-care. But what this card is saying is that you definitely, no one is stopping you. Nothing and no one is stopping you from achieving your destiny. Nothing but other than yourself and your perception, and your perception of stuff. That is what's keeping you from excelling. It's not anything outside of you, because there are many, many, many people who are struggling right now because they have fed into this message that they are not capable because of something external. But people often make the decision to persevere and to still achieve whatever goal, great or small, regardless of the outside circumstances, because they place it in their mind that they're going to make it regardless. They're going to achieve their destiny regardless. They're going to achieve their life, change their life regardless. So that's what we're being called to do, my fellow Geminis. We're being called to take care of ourselves. So we are not out here just believing in those old tapes, believing in those subconscious messages, believing in those messages outside of ourselves, that somehow our destinies are, or certain life changes that we want to make are unobtainable. That's not the case at all. That's not true. Um, Spirit and our spirit team is there for us, and they will help us achieve what what our goals are. Okay, whatever that goal is. And so on that, then we have the emotions card. On the emotional level, we are to stay out of our own way. There are many times that a lot because of our thought process, Gemini, we allow ourselves to be discouraged. I'm not talking about those who, who come from, families who are where they're being, where they're adjusted and they have support from sun up to sundown. I'm not talking about those folks. I'm talking about the majority of us who have been told in some way, shape, or form that we are not going to make it. We are not going to achieve anything. We are not, we're just always going to struggle, and we're never going to get out of the situations that we're in, or that something is always, 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 always going to be something. That's not the truth when it comes to human beings. Because Gemini, I don't know if a lot of folks know this, but we are adaptable. We are literally adaptable. We're malleable, which means we are adaptable. So we're not just going to sit here and just allow things to happen. What this card is saying is that we are to get out of our own way. We are to check our emotions. We are to question our emotions around certain things. Why do we think a certain way? Why do we feel a certain way? Where did that come from? Because more than likely, that didn't come from us. It came from some external circumstance that made us, um, or had us believe, um, in certain things, to believe a certain way or think a certain way. Okay. I'm talking about those who have gone through trauma. I'm talking about those who have, been raised in households that were very non-affirming, households that are very discouraging. And households or environments that told us that the way we think and the way and who we are was not okay. And so what that card is saying is that this is the time, Gemini, for you to take those messages, all those negative messages that we have been told um, throughout, I don't know when, and chuck them out of the window because they no longer serve a purpose. They're actually keeping you from achieving your destiny and achieving your goals. That's why from the very beginning, you are being told to nurture your spirit, take care of your spirit. And that means also outside of, being around supportive people, places, and situations, checking your subconscious mind, because that means, if in fact, do that first and foremost. Um, Check your subconscious mind, purge your subconscious mind from anything negative, because even when you have those support systems, by the end of the day, it's up to you. The person um, that is going to help you the most is yourself. Okay. So in order for you to do that, you are to basically check your second brain and, and basically be aware of the messages that you are being given. You know what helps? When I was doing a ritual, I want to say like last month, during the super moon in February, I was told by spirit or encouraged by spirit to write a list of what is being stored, what was stored in my subconscious mind, and write them down. Write down a list, and you can choose to read it out loud if you want to, but basically write down everything that you say to yourself. I don't think a lot of people realize how much negativity runs through your subconscious mind on a regular basis, because basically that's what runs you. That's what drives us. Our subconscious mind, whether we realize it or not, that's what drives us. So basically, what we are being told is to be aware of what you say to yourself, what you think on a regular basis. And you'll be surprised after you see it, you'll be surprised what comes out, because by the end of the day, that's what's driving you and your actions or lack thereof. So, I mean, will blow me down. Um, Spirit is actually coming through because I have like a glass of water here, and I'm there's like bubbles in my water, and actually, that's when you get bubbles in your water, when you put it on your altar or anything. Um, that's an indication that your spirits are near. So my spirit guides are near because I'm doing this reading right now. So I am I like, and spirit is helping me, throughout this entire process as far as these readings and things like that. So thank you, spirit. Thank you so much, my spirit team. Um, so yes, be aware of your emotions. Be aware of your emotions, and check them on a regular basis, because what you think is attached to your emotional state. Your emotional state is also attached, what you think is also attached to your actions. And so when I don't think people realize that um, when you, I don't think people realize the power of the thought process. People say thoughts are things. Yes, thoughts are things, and but you just can't switch everything off. You have to work towards switching everything off. You have to work towards happiness. You have to work towards that. It takes effort. Okay, it takes sometimes physical effort to reach your goal and to reach and to achieve happiness, and to achieve enlightenment. Okay, and in order for you to achieve enlightenment, you are in, or basically reach whatever goal you are working towards. You are to change your thoughts, go through the whole thought process of changing your thoughts, because your thoughts are connected to your actions. Okay, and your actions are connected. Your emotions and your emotional state is connected to your actions. So let me say that one more time because I know I jumbled that up. Your thoughts are connected to your emotions. Your emotions are connected to your actions. And when they're connected to your actions, you act as if. If you feel like you are nothing, you feel like what you're going to do or what you are doing isn't going to mean anything, you're going to act as if. If that's what you're going to think, that's how you're going to act. But what this card is saying, the emotion card, that card is saying to check your thoughts in order to check your emotions. Because if you're able to check your emotions, you're able to check your actions. Okay, so that's what that particular card is saying. And so the love card is what we got. I'm getting a sense of emptiness with a lot of Geminis, a lot of emptiness, a lot of heart hurt. The reason being is that a lot of us are very love starved. Geminis are very like us. Geminis are very love starved. We feel like people aren't paying attention to us very much. It's upside down. That means we feel like we're like people are not paying attention to us very much. You feel like people are not paying attention, or the majority of us feel like um, people aren't paying attention to our achievements and what we do for the world and what we do for ourselves. We compare ourselves to others a lot. And as a result of those comparisons, we feel that we fall short. I'm getting a lot of self esteem stuff, um, Aries, or for the Aries season for Gemini. There's a lot of self esteem, self perception stuff that needs to be cleaned, that is cancel and delete need is to be cleaned up in order for us to achieve. Um, the reason being is that um, whew, I'm just feeling a lot of, it's not a romantic love or anything. It's just like this hurts because people don't understand or pay attention to my intellectual labor. This is about work. I'm getting a lot of work stuff here. It's not about love. It's about work. And like a labor of love is about doing something pertaining to labor. And what I'm getting from that card is that you feel like people are not paying attention to you or paying attention to us, Gemini. And so this is a time again to change that perception. Because even though you're not known, a lot of us are not known on the global scale. Even though you're not known, you know, you're not a household name right now. It doesn't mean that people are not paying attention to what you are doing. There are people who are paying attention. There are people um, who are um, the people who are to pay attention, who are meant to pay attention to you in the here and now while you're struggling. Those are the people who that you're impacting now because you're basically where they are. Because when someone is like up there um, and they got over it or they achieved something, um, they become unrelatable because um, for the most part, a lot of those folks become unrelatable because they're no longer where you are. But when people see you coming up, it's like coming up from the bottom, and now and you're still, relatable. Those are the people who are paying attention. Don't think that you are not making an impact somewhere. It may not be on a global scale. It may not be in a way that you are imagining right now, but you are influencing people, Gemini, and you are making an impact. Don't let the capitalist system or this Aries energy make you seem like you are moving too slow or things are not moving fast enough. Spirit is just giving you bits and pieces. They're giving you like your spirit team is helping you move along. This actually is the time for you to move slow, to be honest with you, and to take your time because Again, you are this our sign, Geminis. Um, we are known for looking at things from different angles. We are known for looking at things from different perspectives, doing research to see if things work, if that works, this works, does it move this way and that way, um, and if it does it make sense? You know what I mean? You look at things, you do the research, and your perception. You have many perceptions and many perspectives on certain things like your projects and things like that. Um, and so that takes time. That takes time. Um, and please know that spirit is with you, especially if you're creative, because Geminis are known for being creative. A lot of us are content creators, myself included. And so you don't want to put anything out there. In fact, you feel weird putting things out, to the universe, or putting out there stuff out there to the world that may not resonate with your spirit, let alone resonate with other people. So you got that love of labor, you got that love card upside down, um, because you feel like no one's paying attention, but people are paying attention. Believe it, people are paying attention. Um, this is not the time to stop. This is not the time to be discouraged. This is not the time. If anything, this is the time to reevaluate why you do what you do and what it is in your mind, what it is to be famous, what it is to be known on a grand scale. What does that look like, and what does that mean to you? Because it means so many things to so many different people, and so you have to figure out for you have to you are to figure out what that means to you. What does being influential mean? What does being powerful mean? What does it mean to be a household name? What does that look like to you? Um, in fact, like, what are you doing this for? Seriously, what are you doing this for? Whatever you're creating, whatever you're writing, whatever you um, are putting out there in the world, what are you doing it for? Is it aligned with spirit, or is this something that pertains to your ego? Is this something that pertains to the betterment of other people, or is this another way for you to make an income? Do you want things to be quick and dirty, or do you want things to um, be very meaningful and take time? It's all up to you. As far as what you're doing, what you're doing stuff for. But this is also the time to realize that people are paying attention to what you're doing. And this is also the time to be aware of what you say and do, um, because what it will definitely make an impact on someone's life, whether you believe it or see it or not. So the final card you have is the Sensual. So this is a major arcana, and this is an earth card. She is a key to everything. This woman is a key to everything. She has keys on, as earrings. She is her own gatekeeper. She is very grounded. Um, she is a gatekeeper of knowledge. She's very grounded. She knows her own knowledge, and she knows who she is as an individual. Or whether you're gender nonconforming, they know who they are. Okay, they know who they are as a person, and they're very grounded in their knowledge. And I feel like this person in the card is guarding something. I'm being told to tell you, Gemini, that guard your secrets. Why is that true? Thank you. Be aware that not everyone needs Be aware, Gemini, that not everyone needs to know what you know. Not everyone is need to be privy to that information. Is to be privy to that information. You love giving out information. You love it, um, but not everyone, for one, is going to appreciate what you put out, and secondly, not everyone is to know what you're capable of, especially if you are a light worker or you do some sort of magic work, because not everyone is responsible with the information that you give out. Not everyone is responsible with is going to be responsible with the power that you have or what you possess. Not everyone is mature enough to have that knowledge. You don't. Yes, a lot of us are teachers because we're great communicators, but not everyone is to know. Not everyone is to know. Give what you are led to give. Say what you are led to say when it comes to your knowledge, and keep it pushing. There are folks who practice certain um, spiritual practices, and yet they are very secretive about what they do because, for one, you're considered an outsider, and two, you don't know, because there are people who are Gemini, especially if you're a light worker or you are working in the spirit realm. You do not know. Not everybody is worth trusting with the knowledge that you have. Not everyone is worth sharing stuff with. You don't know what they're going to do with that information. Are they going to hurt somebody with it? Or are they going to take advantage of your kindness? Or are they going to take advantage of your knowledge and use it to make money? I know a friend um, who she's a practitioner in New Orleans. She will share knowledge with people. Um, she and I'm getting, unfortunately, I'm getting white practitioners and giving, and she would not get credit for that. They would take her work and monetize it and say that they created it. I'm getting create When you create work, Gemini, protect it. Protect your knowledge, and if you need to, copywriting. If you need to, not even need to, but it's paramount. Basically, how about this? Because I keep saying need, that's lack language. If you are compelled to, if you're compelled to protect your information, protect your information, protect your content, um, copyright your content, waterproof, like a water, what's it called? A water tag or something like that. Watermark. There you go. Watermark your content if you need to. Don't let anyone take your coins. I'm also getting things about energy too. Don't allow people to steal your energy, or to use your energy for their own personal gain. Because intellectual labor is energy, but so is talking to someone. Time is energy. Everything that we give to someone is energy, whether it be time, money, a conversation, knowledge. That's energy. That is energy. Be mindful. Be mindful, especially around Aries season, where everybody wants to, have knowledge, where everybody is like on the go to the point where they're just wanting more information and not even thinking about, who's giving it to and how they're getting it and stuff like that. I'm going to be honest with you, people. In Aries season, I'm getting like a lot of y'all. There's going to be a lot of people not thinking straight. This is the time for you to use your intuition, Gemini, and this is the time for you to use your common sense as well. Who are you talking to? Do they deserve the information that you are giving? Can this person even be trusted? You know, can this person be trusted with the information? This is a time for you to do spiritual background checks on a person. Are they even on the up and up? I'm talking about people in the magic community. People in the community that are often like working with people, doing Reiki healings and things like that. Are they giving you credit? Are they giving you credit for what they? Are they give? Do they give other people credit if, for what they do? If they learn from somebody else, do they thank their spirit guides, or do they take credit? Do they thank their ancestors, or do they take credit? Is this person worth being around? I'm not asking you to be paranoid or anything like that. But the card that I pulled, the central card, is basically saying that look, you're very knowledgeable, Gemini. You're a gatekeeper of information, and because you're a gatekeeper of information, you got to be careful with who has your information and who you give that information to. You get me? Because not everybody deserves it, and not everyone is going to take care of the gems that you give them. This is this is why you're being told to take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Put yourself first, your energy first, your spoons first, your mental health first. Put yourself first. Take care of everybody else later. But put yourself first, Gemini. Because you can only do so much when you're tired. I'm going to pull one more card and then we're done. So, the card came out for me, huh? So, yeah. So you got the Three of Fire. I'm seeing a lot of traveling for Geminis as well. A lot of self-care trips, a lot of traveling and self-care trips, and just living life. Live life. Live life to the fullest, Gemini. Whether you have money or not, live or whatever that looks like, live your life. You don't money isn't necessary to enjoy something. But not only are you to put yourself first, but you are to live your life the way you see fit, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else or being destructive. We've all come a long way. We've all come a long way, Gemini. We've come a long way. This Aries season, we are pretty much being called to focus on ourselves and to focus on our spoons, focus on our pearls, and to replenish our spirit. But this card here, the only action you are to take is to put yourself first and to do something incredibly nice and incredibly fulfilling for yourself, whatever that looks like, because you deserve it. I don't think people tell you enough, Gemini, that you deserve it. I don't think people tell you enough how brilliant you are. People don't tell you enough how much they appreciate you, that they love you and support you. Surround yourself with people who are going to do that, but always remember to put yourself first and do something nice and very fulfilling for yourself, because this is a time. This is the time. I'm also getting that this is a time for y'all to, a lot of us to do with solo. Even if you can't find other people to have fun with, at least you have yourself. Some of y'all, that's what's required at this point. Because y'all been around the toxic people to the point where you don't know what to do with yourself anymore. So this is a time to find out what you like, what you dislike, what you're about. This is the time. So that's all I have for Gemini. If you resonated with that reading in any way, shape, or form, say so in the comments. Also, subscribe to this channel, to the Bowtie Psychic channel. If you want a more in-depth reading, you can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. You can also hit me up on via email at bowtiepsychic@gmail.com. I'm very active on Instagram. So, like I said, I did a mini reading before I did this one, and um, if that resonated with you, by all means, check that out as well. And also, if you are into podcasts, I have a podcast under the same name, the Bowtie Psychic, and it's a weekly podcast. You can follow that or subscribe to that by going to Anchor or just going to anywhere you will listen to a podcast and check it out. So um, on that note, thank you so much for watching. And on I just became very excited about the reading. But for real, if it resonated with you, by all means, let me know. So on that note, y'all have a good rest of the day. Peace.